If you could see the things that God has shown me, you wouldn't fear death anymore. And you wouldn't fear life either. I, like so many who've had near-death experiences, I went through not a physical death, but a spiritual death. My suffering was so great that my spiritual self died. It surrendered. A death before a death. And I was reborn. And things have been... I've tried to explain to people how it is that with so much pain in life and so much suffering, how we can still get through and find any joy and meaning in it. And I started doing my video here, but I'm probably gonna have to move. I wanted to be in front of this osprey nest here, if you can see it up there, I don't know. Right there. The mama and the daddy are in there. I just thought that was amazing. I can't get too close because I don't want to bother them. Enough people go and bother them there every day. But so my faith was always there, but it was never strong enough because I was, if you look up the term doubting Thomas, it comes from the Bible, and the apostle Thomas, or the disciple Thomas, didn't see or couldn't believe that Jesus had been resurrected until he saw it with his own eyes. And it's kind of how I always felt. And I see a lot of others feeling like this too. So, how are we supposed to believe the Bible or anything from anyone really who's had any kind of spiritual experience or connection with God? How are we supposed to believe them unless we've witnessed them ourselves? Well, it took me way too long to realize he's got to go straight to the source. But then again, maybe I had to suffer enough to get straight to the source. I honestly, I'm going to move here, so just bear with me for a minute. Okay, I think I'm in a little better spot here. So, the doubting Thomas, he had to see Jesus with his own eyes because most of the other disciples had already seen Jesus since his return, but he didn't believe them. He started getting mad at them, saying they were playing him for a fool. How was he supposed to believe that unless he could see it with his own eyes? And that's how most of us think. But think about almost everything in life. We believe and we claim to know everything in our lives because somebody before us told us this, or somebody before us explained this. The molecules in the air, the oxygen and the carbon dioxide and whatever else is up in the air. We believe it because people before us have told us this. We've never witnessed, we've never seen that with our own eyes. Most of us haven't. I'm guessing some have, but we basically rely on everybody for every single thing that we know. And yet we can experience a few things ourselves and be like, oh, yeah, that's true because I just went through it again myself. But most things, gravity, all the mysteries of the universe, we can witness the beauty that comes from them, the beauty in the universe and the stars and the heavens, but we can't physically witness the gravity working, all the laws of physics working to make whatever is going on out there, because there's obviously places that defy the laws of physics and things that we completely don't understand yet. So, you believe scientists or doctors or whoever because they've told you so. Because they told you this is how it is. This is why it works this way. This is the way life works. But yet we refuse to believe words in the Bible because they come from man who can be corrupted. And I understand the churches have done nothing. I shouldn't say nothing. They haven't done much to help themselves. They basically are like, you come to Jesus, or you come to, whatever their religion is teaching, or you pay the price for eternity. An eternity of hell. Well, that is not an incentive. I guess fear is an incentive for some. Sure. Fear is an incentive for some. But it's not going to, once people started talking enough and, are connected like they are in the internet, and they start thinking, oh, we're so technologically advanced, we don't need these fairy tales telling us what to know and the truth about things. I think it's when we need it the most. I'm watching the osprey fly all around me. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. We have to... I don't blame you for wanting to go straight to the source. So why don't you? Why don't you try to go straight to the source? Why don't you try to have your own connection with God? Why don't you find out more about Jesus and about his true teachings and try... It's never going to be untainted by man. It never is. The disciples were men, but they were chosen. All of the authors, King David and Moses and whoever in the Bible, all their accounts, all of them filtered through man. So why should we believe that? Well, I guess you can believe in nothing. That's fine. But I heard it the other day, and I'll try to get this right. So people can't believe, and they think it's a big fairy tale that Jesus died, and after 3 days it was resurrected. They can't believe that. That's way too much to believe. But yet, they can believe that all of this entire universe, everything in it, our world, everything in it, our consciousness, it's able to ponder these things, it all just spawned from random events. Now, it doesn't make any sense at all. You could have, they said, energy waves, or I can't remember what some of the atheists say. No, there was energy waves before the Big Bang, and that's what caused it, and this and that, and there was ultra dense matter. That's fine. You can believe all that. You can believe anything you want. It's already been pretty much disproven since we realized that there's stars out there that are older than the Big Bang. But you can believe that the universe and everything in it started with something from the Big Bang. That doesn't discredit the theory of an intelligent creator at all. Not one bit. If anything, that would be just the starting point for the intelligent creator. If you could pinpoint the part where everything started, where time started, The concept of time being outside of space and time is, it hurts the head. It really does, because these brains aren't capable of thinking of these things. And I think that's for a reason. Because if we knew all the answers, if we knew all this stuff, and we didn't have to go through the suffering, and we didn't have the free will to make our mistakes and go through all that, then it would all be meaningless. Why even create time if you're going to do something like that? There has to be a purpose in our life, but yet a higher purpose that we're all serving. And I don't know what that is. I don't know, because I still am always skeptical of what man tells me. But I went straight to the source. And I'm a man, and I'm telling you, so you don't have to believe me, and I don't expect you to. I went straight to the source. The source showed me so much. And it always pointed me back to Christianity. I wanted to learn all the other... I knew Christianity. I knew the basic tenets. I'd read, not the whole Bible in the past, but I'd read quite a bit of it and learned the stories, and I grew up learning about the Bible. And I'm thankful for that. But the churches where these ideas were taught to me, also I watched them let so many people down. And I let them fail so many people. And I never in my life saw, and at least in the churches that I was going to, someone connecting with God in the way that was believable to me. Because I was so far gone, I didn't understand any of it. Like, I wanted to connect with God. I'd felt the presence of God, and I knew it was a higher power. I knew it was Him. And I knew Jesus had visited me. I could feel His Spirit when I was still really young. And that is when people connect. So why couldn't churches do this? Are they really all that failing that bad? Why couldn't they do this? Why couldn't they show me the way back to God? That's all I wanted. So I stopped going. Because why would I go to a place where I was wasting my time? Yeah, I could get I enjoyed the stories. I enjoy so many stories. And biblical stories are some of the best. But they never did anything, not until I went straight to the source. And that is why I'm telling you, you have to, what do you have to lose by seeking God? What do you have to lose? Your amazing life is going to be so much worse because you spend a little time searching for those answers. Not only did God give me a lasting inner peace to shield me from all the things that were to come, He showed me my purpose, but He also gave me, and I had this, He gave me this before, probably about 2 years before He came to me finally. The Holy Spirit visited me. He showed me a deeper curiosity of things. And I just let that curiosity run wild. Now, I've always been a curious person, and that's gotten me in a lot of trouble. Now, I'm not talking about some hedonistic type curiosity where you're just going and hooking up with random people and doing every drug you can find. That's the kind of curiosity I had had for a while when I was younger. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a curiosity to understand the meaning of this life and to understand your purpose in it. And it doesn't have to be something that necessarily starts that way. I was curious about all kinds of things. I was curious about the Appalachian Trail and coyotes and rocks and minerals and gems, and I was curious about so many things, and I just kept following those threads. Wherever they led, I would just follow them farther, because I was miserable in life, so I figured why not just follow these. I've already followed those hedonistic curiosities way too much in my life, hoping I would feel better doing drugs or whatever. So why not follow things that actually could satisfy a deeper curiosity? This is such a beautiful park in Raleigh, Blue Jay Point, which is north of Raleigh. But it's literally right near the airport, so I'll have to pause every time the planes go over. But what do you have to lose by following these threads, these deeper meanings? And if there's nothing inside of you pulling you in those directions, and that's fine. I mean, maybe you have more time to get to that point. Maybe, I don't know. I can't tell you. I have no idea what anybody's purpose is, but the one God has shown me. And that is subject to change any time that He tells me. But I'm saying, what do you have to lose? Why just bask in your suffering? Our suffering becomes like a religion to us. It's like a polytheistic religion of all these inner demons, and we try to appease them so they won't torture us as badly that day. But we're just selling our soul away one little dopamine hit at a time to take us out of this suffering that we're in. And I'm not saying in one bit that you have to evaluate your life. You have to go through that self-discovery. There's going to be vices that you have. Everybody does. We all are human. We all have urges. We all have needs. That's not going to ever change. Well, I'm not going to say not ever change, but we're imperfect people. That's what makes us so beautiful. Our imperfections are some of the greatest things in our lives, because they are the catalyst a lot of times for our suffering. You might be ugly. You look like me or something. That is going to make you suffer, especially in your younger days, when you're saying, oh, I can't attract anyone of the opposite sex, I can't do this and that. And it's going to teach you much more about yourselves than these beautiful people. And it's a catalyst to your suffering, but it's also the catalyst to your enlightenment. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up for today because I hear another plane coming, but I think this is my 100th episode, 100th video. And I just want to say real quick, before this plane drowns me out completely, that I am so grateful to all of you who watch my videos. You give me more fulfillment than I ever knew. And God sent me to you and you to me. And if you don't believe, that's fine, but you're already watching. If you're watching something like this, just try to build that personal relationship. Don't let it be tainted by the words of man. Your mind will send you in several ways that will take you into something deeper. Well, it'll take you into the Bible, or it'll take you into, who knows what, wherever God sends you. It took me into weird places I went and I was studying philosophy and a lot of New Age spirituality, and I really a lot of it was really kind of nice. Just kind of, I used it to connect with God, and I was like, that's kind of nice, but it all roads led back to Jesus for me. No matter what I did, and no matter where I went to study or find something deeper, it all led back to Jesus. And God told me that I don't have to listen to churches or people who would try to guilt me into worshiping a certain way. I don't have to listen to that. I read the teachings of Jesus, and I listen to them, and I get the true wisdom behind it all. And that's what helped me. And of course, you're going to have to read something that was literally written by man, because that's just the way our world works. You're having to read in the language that was made by man. Everything is made by man and women. Don't get offended, people. Everything was made by people. We have to, I'll say it one more time. I know I've said it a lot. Knowledge is being able to read the Bible and even memorize some of the verses or recite them. But true wisdom is understanding the meaning behind them. Even if you can't, like me, you have the memory of a goldfish from years of just stupid decisions. If you can't remember it, but you can get the meaning behind it, that is how you extract wisdom. Learn to do that in everything in life, and you will be free. God will come to you. And that fear, that guilt, that anxiety, that trauma, it will all be washed away. All right, God bless.